Welcome to the Small Business Made Simple podcast, brought to you by socialmediaandmarketing.com.au. Being in business is never easy, but it can be simple, or at least simpler. Join me, your host Jen Donovan, every week where we focus on marketing, social media, and working towards simplifying your business. You with me? Let's do this.
Gonna dream it big, 'cause someone out there listening. Everyone's got a voice to give, and it's time I heard you whistling, 'cause there's no point at all, in dreaming small.
Why, hey there, my fabulous listener. Welcome to episode 212 of the Small Business Made Simple podcast. Thank you, as always, for lending me your ears today. I know there are lots of choices out there, and I do appreciate you making me one of them. And our topic today is a great one. Well, I think it is anyway. So marketing. We are talking about marketing, no surprise there. But do you need to do more, or do you just need to be better at what you're already doing? That's the topic of discussion today. If you are enjoying this podcast episode or any other episode, I would love for you to take a screenshot and share it on your socials and tag me, because that would be super cool to get to know you a little bit, like you get to know me a little bit every single week listening in. You can, of course, find the show notes for this particular podcast at socialmediaandmarketing.com.au/212. And before I get started, did you have a listen to last week's episode 211? It was all about, is blogging dead? Have to say, I've had some great conversations in my inbox and in my DMs, and actually at a networking event as well on this topic of, is blogging dead? And I've really loved people's different thoughts, opinions, and insights about this. So what did you think? I would love to know what you thought as well. If you haven't listened to that one, then head back to episode 211 after you finish listening to this one, of course, and get some even more Small Business Made Simple gold back there. But let's get on to today's episode. Now, today's episode might be a little bit controversial, and you might even think I'm being a little bit harsh. But can I just tell you straight off the back that I am one of the biggest small business advocates you will find. My heart is entirely dedicated to small business, and I just love to help people. I'm just going to start there because I don't want you to think I'm being harsh. I'm just being real, and I'm using my expertise in the best way that I can, and that is to help people think differently about their business. So let me start today with a story. I saw a post in a Facebook group this week, and it said something like, just wondering if anyone sells on eBay, what it's like. I need more sales and wondered if eBay is the place to be. Now, I know this person. Okay, they're far from what I would call a friend, but I do know this person. So my initial thought about this person writing that message was, no, you just need to stop looking for the silver bullet, and you need to make yourself better at marketing. I was kind of one of those really frustrated things to read. Now, I know that that's said with a lot of privilege, because I am a marketer, and therefore I do know how to market, although I'm always learning new things, different things, keeping up to date with trends and testing and measuring. And my business does serve me well and is profitable. So I know that I'm saying, when I say that I'm a little bit frustrated to have read that by this person, I understand that I'm coming from a privileged position. But it's definitely a question that people that I guess I hear and I see a lot. And it's premised around this: do you need to do more, or do you just need to be better at it? Is doing more really the answer? More posts, more blogs, more products, more emails? It's not the answer. And this comes from a space of service-based business, adding more programs, more offerings, more this, more that. And it also comes from my experience of being a retailer, of maybe if we just got this product in, that would be the thing that would make our business explode. And it's just not the answer. Doing more is not the answer. And can I also just say that no one is going to save you. No one platform, no one Facebook group, no one single external factor is going to save you if you are looking for doing more. What will save you is looking at what's working, what's not working, and then making some really, sometimes hard, strategic decisions based on fact. The answer is getting better at what you do, not doing more of what you're already doing. The answer is having a marketing strategy, a marketing plan, rather than just posting, buy this, buy this, buy this too, all the time. I am all for, and don't get me wrong, going where your starving audience is. And if you're not quite sure what a starving audience is, then go back and listen to episode 131 of the podcast, because it's a great episode as well. You will find it at socialmediaandmarketing.com.au/131, and it's all around finding your starving audience. I'm all for multi-channel marketing, not just expecting people to find you, but being on other people's platforms, a platform where your audience perhaps already is. But I'm not for continually adding more and more of those. And that is what I'm saying is no, because frankly, you need to stop and think about your marketing. Maybe you need to get some help. Maybe it's time to get someone else to give you some tips, some tricks, some strategic help. And not just in the form of some general, I follow this really great person on Instagram and I'm going to implement their general advice they're giving on Instagram. But I mean someone who can come into your business and look at what's working, what's not working, look at your marketing strategy and look at, your business as a whole and help you on that one-to-one basis. The person who asked this question, look, I know this person is on at least 3 other channels for sales, and I know that adding another one simply isn't going to help this person get more sales, because the thing that isn't broken is her reach or his reach. The person has enough reach. It's their marketing that is causing the problem. So if you are posting on social media consistently and you're emailing consistently and you are on other platforms such as Etsy or My Spend With Us or eBay or Facebook and Instagram and Amazon and so on, and you are not making sales, it is not the amount of people that is the problem. It's not the audience that's the problem. It's you have the reach. There are billions of people on Facebook. Amazon is one of the biggest biggest online platform in the world. There are shoppers there. That is not the problem. Your audience is there somewhere. They have to be. These are the biggest platforms in the world. They just perhaps can't find you because it's so noisy, because they are the biggest platforms in the world and you're not standing out from the crowd. And if you are doing all the things, posting, emailing, etc., but everything I read as your ideal client, as your consumer, is you saying, buy this now, please buy this now, I am no longer interested. You can't shout at people to buy from you all the time. It just doesn't work like that. We don't like that as consumers. If someone, every time, yourself when you're walking down the street and there's someone selling raffle tickets or there's someone selling something and, or trying to hand out a brochure, you get that and no thank you. Like, you're polite, but you just walk by. It's not for you, and you don't like to be sold to when you are not wanting to be sold to. And it's the same on online places, on Facebook, Instagram. You can't be selling to people all the time. You can't be shouting at them to buy your stuff all the time. And for just good measure as well, if you're crap at customer service and your ability to get repeat customers is not good, then that's what makes a business thrive as well. So, we can market all we want, but if we're crap at our customer service, then perhaps our business, has 2 things it needs to fix. So I understand that it's not all about marketing. I'm not that naive as a small business owner, and that customer service does come into it. But marketing definitely needs to be a priority in your business. So what's the solution, you might be thinking, Jen? Okay, you're telling me what not to do. You're telling me, all these things, but what's the solution if it's not doing more of everything? What's the solution if there's no silver bullet in business? Again, I will say there's no one solution. No one thing is going to help your business survive or thrive, for that matter. But here's some points that will make a really good start. And please, some of these things you might roll your eyes at. It's like, really? But this is the truth. This is the grounding of a good small business. So know who your customer is. Who is your ideal client? Knowing everything about them, or assuming you know everything about them, like really doing some work on your ideal client. It really will help you grow. Know where they hang out, because once you know who they are, you know where they hang out, because that's where you need to be marketing. You don't need to be marketing on more places. You need to be marketing on the places that your ideal client hangs out, so you can, I guess, pattern interrupt them and get your products or your services in front of them. Know what you want to be famous for and encapsulate those values in everything you do. Have a wholesome marketing strategy. And I say a wholesome marketing strategy because a marketing strategy should encompass growth, lead generation, sales, engagement, brand awareness, not just buy this now. Get some help. Help specifically to you and your business. Not like when I said before, just don't follow some people on Instagram and, yes, absolutely. And Facebook and LinkedIn, they probably know what they are talking about. But a lot of the advice, I do it myself as a marketer, is general. It's not specific to somebody's business. That is maybe where you sit in your business. You need to have someone come in and talk specifically to you about your business. Audit what you're doing now. What's working, what's not working, and make decisions based on what you find. But, and this is a really big but, if something is not working, you cannot blame external factors. For example, if posting into a Facebook group isn't working, it's not Facebook's fault. It's not the group admin's fault. It's not a few 100,000 people in that group's fault. It's not the algorithm. It's not the economy, and so on and so on. Really, really think, what's at fault? Why isn't the marketing working? Is it because you've used the same photo and the same script for 2 years and people now just scroll by? Could it be as simple as that? Maybe it's a combination of everything I've just mentioned, but still, you cannot blame external factors entirely and only. You can change what you are doing. You can test, you can measure, you can polish, you can repeat. Because again, no one thing is to blame, just like no one thing is going to save your business. For some, admittedly, getting one-to-one coaching seems out of reach. There's just not enough money in the budget for it, and I get that. I'm not cheap. Other great coaches aren't cheap. But there are often cheaper solutions if you look. For instance, I work for the Melbourne Innovation Centre as a contractor. I think they sponsored April, May, something like that of the podcast. They were the sponsor. I'm a mentor for small business owners through that particular program. They have a digital solutions program, and for $44, you can get 3 hours of professional mentoring by over 50 mentors. Or you can get 3 hours of my time for $44, which would normally cost you a lot more than that. Even more than if you, well, probably not as much if you took the decimal point out. That's definitely not that much. But a lot more than $44. So for $44, you can get 3 hours of my time, or if your SEO is your problem, you can get 3 hours of an SEO expert, etc., etc. Now, you do have to live in Victoria to be part of this particular program through Melbourne Innovation Centre, but the Digital Solutions Program, ASBAS, so ASBAS, ASBAS, great acronym. Governments love acronyms, don't they? It's a federally funded program, so it's in each of the states. You just need to have a look as to what there is available out there. And if you want to look into this a bit more, send me a DM, send me an email, get in contact, because I pretty much know who's got most of the contracts for government organisations, or I know someone who knows someone that can give me that answer, because you can just go Googling and see what's available. So there are solutions out there if you do need some help with this, rather than just doing more. And for $44 to get a professional business mentor who can help you in your business and give you specific advice to you where you're at, what you need, is such a better use of your time, rather than scrolling through TikTok or Instagram and learning how to dance and sing and point, quite frankly. Of course, if you'd love to work with me, then, even if it's not through a program, then I would love to discuss that with you as well. So you can definitely reach out if you're interested in doing one-to-one coaching with me. I would absolutely love to meet you and talk about whether we are a good fit for each other. But the purpose of this episode is to help you see that doing more is not always going to help you grow and be more profitable. In fact, doing less and doing less strategically is probably a much better solution for you. A well planned out marketing strategy is perhaps what you need. And can I just add here, a well planned out marketing strategy isn't something you can do in an afternoon. You can probably get a draft done and, in an afternoon, but really a good marketing strategy is what I call a liquid document, meaning it's never actually done. It's done to a point where you take it to market, you test, you measure it, you polish it, and then you bring it back and you have a look what's working, what's not working. You polish it, you test it, you measure it, you bring it back. Like, this is the process of being a business owner. Like a good marketing strategy is never actually done, but you are always tweaking it. You're always looking at what's working, what's not working. Now, if you're screaming at me right now and say, Jen, I just don't have time, then I'm afraid you won't like my answer, because if you aren't making marketing a priority and your marketing isn't working right now, then it really is time that you started to work on your business rather than in your business. And we all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's just how we choose to use it. So if it's time for you to use your 24 hours or 1 hour of that 24 hours every week a little bit better or more strategically to help grow your business, then maybe this is the nudge that you needed. 4 out of 5 small businesses, they say fail in the first 5 years, but honestly, no one fails in business. They simply just burn out. And we know burnout is a real thing. If we were in a room, I'd get you to raise your hand if you've thought that you've been burnt out in the last couple of years. And most business owners burn out because they don't have a marketing strategy, and therefore they couldn't get enough customers come through the door often enough to come back often enough to make being in business profitable or worth it for them. So they close up shop and enter the workforce as an employee. So if you're struggling in business, A, get help. And B, don't just think doing more of what you're already doing is the answer when strategy is the answer. Now, I seriously don't want anyone, especially you, to be a small business statistic. I'm a lover and dreamer of small business, like I said at the start, and that's why I have a marketplace that supports rural and regional small businesses for rates that are seriously cheaper than the big guys. That's why I work with programs such as Digital Solutions Program that I mentioned above, and of course why I have amazing private coaching clients who are ready to play the bigger game. I feel so passionately about this that I'm not sure exactly how to end this podcast episode. I don't really know what to say except to say you do have this. Small business isn't easy, otherwise everyone would be doing it. But it should be simple, or at least simpler, which is pretty much how this podcast got its name. If you want to chat about a marketing strategy, or if you have one and you want it to work better for you in your funnels and your nurture sequences, then let's have a chat. You can book a chat with me, book a discovery call at bit.ly/discoverwithjen, or you can come to the show notes at socialmediamarketing.com.au/212 and get the link there. Let's get your marketing humming. And don't wait any longer. And please don't think that doing more is going to save your business. Sometimes you just need strategically to do less. I'd love to chat with you in my Like-Minded Business Owners Facebook group. If you're not a member, come and join there. Otherwise, I will see you next week on episode 213. If we aren't friends on social yet, let's get social on social. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And before I go, if you do have a subject you would like me to cover on this podcast, then please reach out. I would love to hear from you, and I'd love to know what subject you would like covered on the podcast. But whatever you do, remember, my small business peep, as my opening song says, there is no point in dreaming small.
No time like the present. Tell it like you feel it, say it proud, be true, and let us see you for the star that you are. No point in dreaming small.
I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, the Yorta Yorta people, on which I record this podcast and conduct my business today, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I extend this respect to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here with us today as well.